Director Garry Marshall returns with an ensemble cast celebrating New Year's Eve.
Last year, I met a girl, and she was extraordinary.
8 different stories in the Big Apple all mark the yearly calendar change in their own unique ways.
Is it New Year's Eve?
Is it?
But when the ball drops in Times Square, they all find time to mark the occasion in New Year's Eve.
Next up, we're reviewing New Year's Eve. David, why don't you start?
Well, we actually didn't cover this movie when it first came out, but I thought it would be a really good idea to cover it now on New Year's Eve. Now, Liz, you and I have just seen it.
Yeah.
And we agree that it's a skip it.
It is definitely a skip it.
Okay. So instead, Leah, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze what this movie represents.
Uh-oh.
So this movie is what I call a manufactured film. And it's not really a sequel to Valentine's Day. It's sort of a remake of Valentine's Day. Now, what happened was that Valentine's Day came out at the beginning of the year, obviously, and it was resoundingly panned by all the critics. We actually didn't even cover it. It went on to make $200 million worldwide. So what happened was that the powers that be decided, hey, this is an untapped market for non-Christmas holiday movies. We need to rush off and put into production another one of these. So what did they do? Same director, Garry Marshall. I love Garry. You're fabulous. You're funny. The same writer, Katherine Fugate, and they generated New Year's Eve, which is very much like Valentine's Day, in the hope that it would generate another $200 million in revenue for this company. There's nothing interesting about this movie. All of the various plots that they have, no tension, nothing new, nothing fresh. They're not intertwined really in any way. And there's some really great actors in this movie, right, Liz?
We have Robert De Niro, we have Halle Berry, we have Josh Duhamel, we have Hilary Swank.
The new vice president of the Times Square Alliance. So, big night.
Well, I'd say that's an understatement. Over 1 billion people from all over the world will have their eyes on us tonight as the ball drops. So I'd say that qualifies as a very big night.
They were given very little to work with here. And halfway through the movie, I'm watching it and I'm going, why am I watching this movie? What are your thoughts, Liz?
It's crap. I hate it.
Okay, why do you hate it?
Tell us how you really feel.
Tell us how
Liz.
you really feel, because I'm done talking.
I hate it twofold. One, I want to make romantic comedies, and I find that a lot of romantic comedies are incredibly insulting, especially to women. Mm-hmm. And they create these fantasies of how courtship occurs, and that is not how courtship occurs. And I'm desperate to see movies where you see couples form in organic fashions instead of these ridiculous scenarios that never occur.
Which happens in this movie in spades.
Constantly.
It's all over the place.
Coincidences abound. And the other reason is because there's already a movie exactly like Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve, and it's called Love Actually.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great movie, and
Excellent
it's well
point.
done and nuanced and sweet and emotional and has just the same size of a cast, but everything is developed and effective.
Entertainment Weekly did this wonderful spoof, and they said, what movie is next? Arbor Day. And they created this fake movie poster in the exact same format as Valentine's Day and in New Year's Eve. And it said Arbor Day, and they had some sort of ridiculous tagline. So, you know.
Veterans Day.
Right, Veterans Day and a Yom Kippur to remember.
Making movies that are just about making money and giving audiences a cheap thrill is not new. I mean,
B-movies.
The whole business practice of making B-movies was about B talent, B writers, B directors, and the audience knew exactly what they were getting.
Absolutely right. And
The
this,
audience-
we have an A-list in a B-movie.
I think that speaks to disingenuousness. It sounds like this is a B-movie masquerading as an A-movie with a bunch of the A-list talent. It's kind of like a fraud.
Absolutely.
Even when our actors are given such horrible material to work with, I still was emotionally affected with the Robert De Niro storyline,
yeah, that's true.
and the Halle Berry storyline,
Right.
actually. But you still have very good actors prescribed to these ridiculous scenes.
So what does this mean then for audiences?
When you track the box office on this movie is not tracking the same as the box office on Valentine's Day. And I'm wondering if the audience that went to see Valentine's Day was like, you know, I don't need to see it again.
Or they caught on very quickly.
Or they caught on, let's give the audience credit.
Well, it sounds like, oh gosh, anything left to be said? I mean, are we beating the dead horse here?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, well then grab your tickets. Okay,
I feel so much better. There's just this catharsis that just
Great
went on.
catharsis.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
that would be a big whopping 0 tickets for New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year!